Live.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us in another session of Mindful Movement with AARP Alabama. I am your host, Margie Curry, and today's session is with our certified yoga instructor who has an extensive background, Becca Impello. Now, everyone, I want to remind you that AARP empowers people to choose how they live as they age. AARP is a nonpartisan 501c4 organization that has over 420,000 members in Alabama alone. AARP's role is to advocate for those 50 plus and those families. AARP Alabama is committed to offering opportunities for people to stay engaged from their home. And the Mindful Movement series provides an opportunity for you to keep moving in the safety of your own home. Becca, are you with us, Dad?
Hey there, Margie. How you doing
Hey,
today?
doing great today, Becca. What do you have for us today?
Well, we're back at it right after a holiday, and for me, I had a little extra few days off before the holiday weekend, so I thought today we better just get back to basics. Just kind of get us going with our basic yoga practice. We'll do a all around, something for the whole body today, but nothing super specific. But we'll get everything going hopefully.
All right, that sounds very challenging and just what we need too. Please remember, everyone, that before you begin any exercise routine, you should make sure that you consult with your physician to be sure it's safe to participate. And we would love to have your feedback on our program. So if you would, take a look at our survey that we have and also let us know what you think about us. All right, Becca, let's get started.
All right, very good. So you'll just need a chair for our practices. So I'm typically gonna guide you through something that everybody can access, whether it's using the chair to help you be more stable or using the chair for a seated position. But we'll get up and we'll stand and we'll do some different kinds of movements as well. You can be barefoot like I am today, but you can also do this practice with socks and shoes on if that's your preference. All right, so just find a good, comfortable, straight back chair, like from your dining room or your kitchen. Go ahead and sit in it. Go ahead and let yourself scoot back even perhaps and get the back of the chair up against your back there. Close your eyes for a moment and just allow yourself to take a deep, full breath. We're going to just slow down here for a moment. It's a busy summer season. Maybe you've come off of some travel for the weekend or just some other activities for the weekend, been a little more social perhaps, maybe been out in the heat depending on where you are. So we're going to just take a few moments here just to sort of settle things down here for our beginning of practice. So your eyes can be closed, or if you prefer, just simply gaze a little bit out in front of you with a soft focus. And just continue that breathing now. Take a deep, full breath in. Let it out slowly but completely. Let's take 2 more of those deep, slow breaths. All right, now we'll go ahead and just begin a little bit of a warm up for the whole body. Let's start with the neck. Turn that head gently right and left. All movements that I'm going to suggest and guide you through today have a range, meaning that you can make them small, medium, big. It just depends on what feels right for you. I do advise you to avoid movements or positions that cause you any kind of sharp pain. Next time that chin is over towards one shoulder, let's go ahead and drop that chin down towards the chest and give it a slow roll across. When you get to the other shoulder, pause and then roll it forward again. And let's just keep that semicircle going a few more times. Chin rolling forward across the chest, shoulder to shoulder. and then bring that head up to the top, and let's just do a little nodding. Drop the chin down and then look up, and you get to decide how far of that movement is comfortable for the back of your neck. Certainly keep it small if there's anything that's uncomfortable or painful there. 2 more times. Chin down, chin up. Good. All right. And then let's begin to roll those shoulders. We're just going to move it down the body from the neck, down through the shoulders and the arms, and the rest of the spine. Eventually, we'll get all the way down to the legs and the feet. All right. So just a couple more of those nice big shoulder rolls. Slow them down a bit so you get a bigger movement out of it. And maybe you feel a little bit more those shoulder blades, upper back, into the neck. Good. Now let's drop those arms down to our sides and sweep the arms out and up. Now maybe you're coming all the way overhead, or maybe you're needing to stop somewhere along the way because of a, shoulder issue. If you get pain or discomfort, especially anything sharp, remember that it's better to avoid that. Just go ahead and make a smaller movement. Maybe you come up to shoulder height and then down. You could also take your arms a little more of a forward angle, and maybe that'll feel different for your shoulders. So let's do about 3 more reaches with those arms. Good. 1 more, and then we're going to do a little different motion for the shoulders to help with that rotation action of the shoulders. So scoot just a little bit forward in your chair so you've got room behind you. Bring your arms and hands out to the sides, and then one hand goes behind your head, the other behind your back, and then bring them back out to the side, and then go the other way, hand behind the head, hand behind the back, and then back out. So again, if there's any discomfort, maybe your motion is smaller and you're not quite getting all the way behind. And if this motion is not so bad for you, maybe you try to bring those hands towards each other behind your back. So you're just going where you feel is wise for your shoulders. Again, this is causing or having us do rotation in the shoulder joint, which is a pretty important movement for us to both have mobility and good control in. Let's do the last 3 right here. 4 or 2, sorry, counting the wrong way. And last 1. Good. Now bring the hands together at the heart. Pause, take a breath. Good. Now we're moving more for our middle back. So squeeze back, arch, let that whole spine, rib cage, chest bow forward, and then push it out and let it round or bow backwards. And then pull and arch. Could lift that chin if you want, and round and push. Maybe drop the chin towards the chest. 3 more. You want to get that spine moving, not just your arms. So pay attention to that. Try to get that rib cage going back and forth. Good. All right. Now let those hands come down to your lap or by your side. And we're going to move it down to the low back and the pelvis. And we're going to do this with some pelvic circles, or some spinal circles, we might even call it. So we're sort of making a circle around the base of our pelvis, right on the chair, and letting our torso sort of stir this. So it's like our spine, our back is one big stirring spatula, and we're stirring around the pelvis and the hips. So again, make a small movement if that feels best or safe for you. Make a bigger movement if that feels okay. All right, we're going to switch directions. So just go the other way around with your spine, around on the pelvis. Good. About 2 or 3 more circles. And bring it into center. All right, great. Now, a little bit of a side stretch for the whole spine. One arm can come up. It could go to the top of your head. It can reach for the ceiling. Stretch it over as far as feels comfortable. And then bring it back to center. And then let's go the other way. Hand all the way up, maybe hand on the head. Stretch it over. And back to center. Let's do that one more time. Each side, take a nice stretch there, maybe a breath or two while you hold it. Other side. And back to center. All right, give those shoulders just another little wiggle. We're going to move on down to the hips, knees, and feet here. All right, so let's start with a marching. You're going to sit up tall. Try not to lean back. Feel free to hold on. Maybe that'll help brace some things. You can let go, but still try and challenge yourself to stay firm here. If you raise the arms up any amount, maybe even all the way to overhead, it gets a little more challenging. It gets maybe a little more work for your core and your back muscles as you're steadily marching using those hip muscles. Couple more here. Good. Now let's pick one leg up and move it out, and then the other leg and move it out. Bring your arms down if they're still up. And I want you to just let your knees come towards the middle or towards each other, and then open them back out. So just rock the knees in, open the knees out. So still working those hips and just moving them in a little different way. So open and close. Good. About 3 more of these, and then we're going to change it up just a little bit. All right, bring your feet together, and then we'll do the same thing. Try to open out, squeeze together. Open out, squeeze together. Good. All right, now down to the knees. You could do this one leg at a time, or you could do both at a time. Kick out and bend back. Now, it may be challenging to do both at a time because then you really have to balance and keep yourself upright. So maybe just do one leg or alternate legs. That's another option. If you want that bigger challenge for the core, try doing both legs. Sit up nice and tall. Maybe hold on to help. Maybe challenge a little bit more by taking the arms out. Let's do about 4 more. Alternate or both together. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Arms down, legs down. All right, 1 foot forward, circle. We're all the way down to the ankle. Warming and loosening that up. Go the other way with that circle. And then let's switch legs. Take the other foot forward, circle. And go the other way. And down. All right, let's stand up for a bit. So come on out of the chair. We are going to use the chair right away. We're going to do a little bit more loosening up for our back. And we're going to do a couple of those sun salutations. Just a nice basic routine that's good at hitting the whole body and that can be done really well from a chair. I'll also give you a few cues about how you might do a sun salutation without the chair if you wanted to go down to the floor. For now, let's come down to hands in the seat of the chair. Feet a little ways back so you got plenty of space to sort of spread out your spine here. Now you could be in hands and knees on the ground if you wanted to. And then we'll do a rounding of the back. We call that cat pose. And then a flattening or arching of the back. It's usually a good idea to bend your knees for that. We call that cow. And so back and forth. Exhale to round it to cat. Inhale to take it into that arch or cow. Back and forth. Good. About 3 more. All right, great. Now go ahead and stand it on up. Let's just get on our feet. We're going to do our sun salutations. We're going to do 2 rounds of sun salutations. We're going to use the chair, but like I said, if you preferred or wanted to try it out, going down to the floor, you can do that. I'll give you those reminders. Basically, every time we put our hands on the chair, you'll put your hands down on the floor or towards the floor if you're not using the chair. So let's stand tall first. Take a full breath in and out. And then inhale, reach up those arms, the head, the heart. Look up if you want. And then bend the knees. Keep everything nice and soft as you fold it down and either stop at the chair or go down towards the floor. And then we'll lift up to a flat back. This could be hands on the seat of the chair or fingertips on your shins or your knees. And then fold it back down. Soft knees. Drop your head. Drop your chest. Good. Now we step the left foot forward, the right foot back. So hands are in the chair, or maybe you're down here. It's going to be a little longer lunge probably if you've got your hands on the floor. All right. Reach back through that right heel. Try to make that back leg nice and long. Now, if you're on the ground, if your hands are down on the ground, you do have the option to put that back knee down on the ground, okay? So you could do that if you wanted to. You're going to take 2 more breaths here. See if you can lift up through the chest a little bit by pushing down into your palms or into your fingertips. And then we're going to step back with that back leg. We're coming into a downward facing dog. So the hips press back and up. The arms get long. Hands are grounded on the seat of the chair or on the floor. Now remember, if you're doing this on the floor, it's good likelihood that your knees won't be all the way straight and your heels may or may not touch the ground. Either way, it's okay. Your heels don't have to come all the way down. Let's take 2 more breaths here. All right, now we're stepping forward with the right foot. So we're doing that lunge the other way. Sometimes that's a tricky transition from being on the floor. You can always go to hands and knees and then step that right foot forward. Push down into the hands, get that lift of the chest, really push back with that back leg. 1 more breath here. And we step that back leg in. If you're using the chair, you're going to want to move that front leg back a bit. But we come back into the hands on the chair or on the shins of the knees and lift up. And then fold it down. Now shift the weight back in the heels. We all come to chair pose where we rise up into a squat-like position. The hands could be out in front of the chest, at the heart, or overhead, your choice. The higher those arms get, the more challenge there is typically. Now inhale and rise all the way up strong and tall. Exhale, bring those hands to the heart. Pause for a breath. In and out. We're going to do that second round now. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, lift back up. And exhale, fold down. Now this time, let's do the right foot forward first. The left leg steps back. Now, for either variation, using the chair or using the floor, you have the option to see about coming off of the hands, bringing the hands up to the heart. It's going to require a little more balance, a little more strength. If the balance is a challenge, find a focal point for your eyes and try to keep them right there. Feel free to take those arms all the way overhead if you want. Good, and then we come back to downward facing dog. So hands back down to the chair or the floor. Walk it back with those feet. Extend back with those hips. Take a couple deep breaths here. This is a great place to do an exhale out of the mouth if you'd like. Just sort of sigh it out. All right, now we bring that left foot forward. Come into that lunge on the other side. Push back with that back leg. Remember your option here. You can stay hands down or you can try bringing those hands up. Get that focal point for your eyes if the balance is a little wobbly. Maybe raise the arms overhead. And then we're going to bring it back down, hands down to the chair, to the floor. Step back in towards the hands, towards the chair. Flat back, lift up. And then fold it down and in. Sit back into those heels. Start to rock back into that chair pose. Find that place you want to take the arms. And then inhale, rise all the way up. And then exhale, hands to the heart. Good, pause here for another breath. All right, now we're going to stay just like we are set up here. Remember that you can use the chair as much as you need or want for whether it's for balance or stability or security or in those transitions. You could decide not to use the chair or try to come off of it at any time. So we're going to go back to left foot forward and right foot back. Okay, so we've got that staggered stance. Hips are facing towards that front foot as much as possible, right? All right, front knee bends. Lift up through that belly. If you want that chair to hold on to, get a little closer or turn it around so that you can hold on to the back of the chair. Now we're going to bring the hands to the heart. Lift up through the chest and turn to the left. So turn towards that bent knee. And here's where you get to decide. Do you want to lean forward? Maybe put a hand down on the chair for some stability. Maybe put a hand down on the floor if you're going for that lower position. Maybe don't put your hand down on anything. You could keep your hands together at your heart if you wanted to. If you've got that hand down, then the other arm is free to change positions if you'd like. You could reach that left arm back. Let's take 2 more breaths here in our twist. And then unwind it. See if you can come back around, hands to the heart. Step in, pause. Let's do that to the other side. So step back with the left leg. Now your stance could be short or long, depends on you. Okay, typically the longer stance is going to be a little more challenging for balance and a little bigger stretch, more than likely. All right, front knee bends. Back leg is nice and anchored. Lift up tall with those hands at the heart. And let's take it into that little bit of a twist to the right. Now again, same choices. Stay right here if you want. Try taking your hand down to the chair or to the floor. Maybe that back arm extends back. It could also rest on your hip or your waist if you wanted. 2 more breaths here. And then bring it back around. See if you can find your balance and come hands up. And then step in. All right, we're going to that same stance again. So right leg back, left leg is forward. Now this time we're not going to twist. We're going to stay facing forward, and we're also going to keep the front knee straight this time. So instead of a bent knee, try to draw it back to a straight knee, an active thigh muscle. Keep your chest lifted and fold forward. So we're looking for a stretch in our hamstring. That'll be the back of that left leg. Now again, maybe you want to take those hands down to the chair. Maybe if you're close to the floor, you take your hands down to the floor. Now that's a pretty big stretch, so don't feel like you've got to get to the floor to be doing it correctly. You could stay all the way up if you wanted to, because that's the right place for you to be. Let's take about 2 more breaths with this one. Good. Now it's perfectly fine to bend that knee a little bit as you come up. Step it in. Switch sides. Left foot back, right foot forward. All right, so we face the chair. Lift up through that chest. Keep the knees straight this time and fold forward. Now your body's going to tell you when to stop. Maybe you'll feel that pull in the back of your right leg. Remember, you could take your hands down, but you don't have to. Taking a few more breaths here. Good, and then you can come up maybe with that bent front knee all the way up. Come into standing tall. I'm going to turn my chair around just so I have something to hold on to for balance, because we're going to do tree pose. That's a balance pose. You can certainly hold on to a wall or another piece of furniture if you prefer. So get some weight in your standing leg, whichever one you're going to start on. Make it nice and strong, sort of hug that hip in. See if you can get the other knee to turn out a bit, and then bring that foot maybe to your ankle, maybe even keep the toes touching. You might bring it a little higher, bringing it closer to the top of the calf. You could even bring it up into the thigh. Try to keep a firm press in with that standing leg to support the knee. And then maybe you have those hands at the heart if you're able to let go. Remember, a focal point will help you with balance if that's a challenge. If you find that you're pretty at ease on one leg, then you might try challenging yourself by turning your head, looking around your space. That's going to bring a little more challenge into it for you if you want. Good. 2 more breaths here. And then let's stop it down and just walk in place a moment, sort of shake that standing leg out. You may feel like that ankle or hip feels a little stiff after standing on it. That's normal. Let's go to the other side. So you might need to turn around if you want to hold on with the other arm. Squeeze that standing leg hip in. Turn the other knee out. See if you can find a place to rest that foot on the inside of your standing leg. Keep your standing leg braced in. Take the hands up to the heart if you can let go. Maybe one hand is there. It's okay to wobble. It's okay to even drop out and come back in. Remember, if we're using our balance poses to help us improve our balance, then it's actually beneficial to be finding a variation that causes some wobble, that isn't super steady, because it's that unsteadiness that challenges our brain and our muscles to get a little bit better at this. All right, coming on down, shake out that standing leg again. And then we're going to sit back down for our last few minutes here to wrap this practice up. So come back into your chair. And we're going to do a little hip stretch. So you're going to see if you can help your foot up to your knee, your ankle crossing on your other knee or your other thigh. If that's a little too high for your hip, then let yourself go a little lower, crossing your ankle below the knee on the shin or even the ankle of the other leg. All right. You might also have something in your space like a couple yoga blocks or a stool. That's a really good height for you to cross your ankle to instead of your thigh, and that could be useful as well. And that's often enough to give us a little more stretch in that outer hip. Sometimes there's room to lean into it a bit, so you could try that if you wanted. Take a couple deep breaths here. This is a good place to really start slowing down your breath again, bringing your awareness to it like we did at the beginning. All right, and let's release that side and go to the other. So remember, crossing, maybe ankle to knee, maybe ankle below the knee or on the shin or the down near the other foot, or on a bench or a stool or a box that you may have that's a good height. Sit tall then, maybe lean into it. Keep breathing here. Take a couple of deeper, slower breaths if possible. Good. Come back up tall. Uncross it. Roll those shoulders a couple more times. Slow, slow, slow. Let those shoulders stay back and down. Give that head a turn over to the left side. Drop that chin down. Maybe stretch the arm, the opposite arm, away and down. See how that feels for your neck. And bring the hand back, bring the head up. Turn the head to the left. Drop it down with that chin. Maybe drop the opposite arm out. Good. Bring that arm back, bring the head up. Good. And then just close the eyes or gaze down with a soft focus. Check back in with your breathing. Come right back to that slower breath, in and out. Let's see if your energy has shifted, maybe become more focused or maybe elevated a little since we started, took those first couple of breaths. All right, let's bring those hands together at the heart. Take one more deep breath in and then bow your head. We'll just take a moment for gratitude. I always like to take that moment at the end. Be thankful for your body, thankful for all your blessings, and of course, thankful for AARP of Alabama for giving us this opportunity for mindful movement. I'll see you in a couple weeks when we do this again.
And thank you so very much, Becca. We enjoyed that today. Thank you very much. We want you to remember, everyone, to please remember that we do have a survey, and we'd love to hear all about what you think about our Mindful Movement series. And also stay tuned because we do have some announcements about upcoming events with AARP. Thank you so much for joining us, and we do look forward to seeing you again. Bye.